Picture this. You're stopped at a light, and the car behind you doesn't get stopped in time and pushes you into the car ahead. Nothing dramatic, no ambulance, but enough force to crack a headlamp housing on the front end and maybe jar the windshield hard enough to spread a hairline crack across the center. You take your car to the shop, and a few days later, here comes an estimate showing up by email or through the app, listing every part going back on your car. Nobody calls to walk you through it. Nobody explains what those line items mean. It's just a document generated software to software, and it's easy to sign off on because it's the only version of this you've ever seen. Here's the question this video is actually about. Your car's forward-facing camera, the one behind lane keep assist and automatic braking, sits mounted just behind your windshield, and it depends on that glass to see the road correctly. Your headlamp, meanwhile, runs a control module wired into the rest of your car's electronics. Somewhere in that estimate is a decision that touches both of those systems. Who actually holds the authority to make that decision, and why didn't anybody explain it to you? By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly who holds that authority, and the answer is probably going to surprise you. Stick around, because the part of this that protects you the most doesn't show up until the very end. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another airing of grievances. My name is Eric Raymer, and on behalf of Nyland's Collision Center in Englewood, Colorado, I greet you. Happy Saturday. It's nice to have you along with us. This week, two of the largest automakers in the world put something in writing, and they made sure that everyone in the industry saw it. BMW and MINI released updated statements on windshields and headlamps. Their position is direct. Certified repairs require new OEM glass, that's original equipment manufacturer glass, and new OEM headlamp assemblies. Their reasoning matters, so let's slow down on it here. Patent law requires aftermarket manufacturers to design around the original engineering, which makes the part sitting on the shelf next to the OEM part a different part before anyone ever even installs it. It has different tolerances, different fit, sometimes a visibly different housing. Let's start with the windshield. Your car's forward-facing camera, the one that's behind the lane keep assist and automatic emergency braking, is mounted inside the cabin just behind the glass. It's not in the glass itself, but that camera depends entirely on the windshield's optical clarity and precise curvature to see the road correctly. An aftermarket windshield with different glass properties or slightly different mounting geometry can throw that camera's calibration off, even when the crack is gone and the glass looks fine to the eye. That's why BMW and MINI require full recalibration using their own diagnostic software after any windshield replacement. Now onto the headlamp, and this is a different mechanism entirely. The concern here is the electronic control module built into a modern headlamp assembly, one wired into the rest of the car's entire electronic network. In BMW's own words, installing a used or aftermarket headlamp introduces significant limitations. Your vehicle can lose the ability to receive remote software updates, and if another module in the car fails later, for any reason, repairs can't proceed until the correct original headlamp module is back in the car and reprogrammed. That means your vehicle can sit at a shop unrepairable until the right part shows up. In the same week, GM revised its own position statements. Third revision in a matter of months, and each one has gotten more and more forceful. The language used to read, "not recommended." Then it became, "not approved." Now, in red text across every category the statement covers, it reads, "strictly prohibited." ADAS sensors, windshields, airbag components, bumper systems with radar sensors built into them. Two manufacturers in the same week, both drawing a harder line than they've ever drawn before. Now, here's a question that explains a lot. If BMW said this last year and the year before, why did they need to say it again, louder, this year? Manufacturers rewrite position statements because compliance with earlier versions keep breaking down somewhere in the repair process. That breakdown traces straight back to your insurance policy, the actual contract, the paperwork you signed when you bought coverage. Most auto policies guarantee something called like, kind, and quality parts, and that phrase covers aftermarket, recycled, and salvage parts just as easily as it covers OEM parts, because legally it's allowed to. A guarantee of new OEM parts on safety systems usually requires a specific endorsement added to the policy, one that typically comes with a small increase to the premium. We've always said here that increase is worth it. Insurers build the standard policy around like, kind, and quality for one plain financial reason. It's cheaper for them to pay out. That means bigger profits for them. That default sits ahead of what the automaker's engineering requires and ahead of what's actually safest for the person driving the car. Most people in this industry are doing their job inside a system built this way on purpose. Understanding that system is what turns this into an informed decision instead of an automatic one. Let's go back to the estimate that we opened with. It lists an aftermarket headlamp assembly. That's exactly what the policy promised because unless an OEM parts endorsement was added and paid for, like, kind, and quality is the coverage actually on file. And here's what most people assume. They assume that an adjuster is going to get on the phone and walk them through what's being installed and why. Well, let me tell you, that conversation essentially never happens. Adjusters process estimates against the coverage the policy defines. They don't typically narrate parts decisions to you, the claimant. If anyone explains the difference to you in practice, it's typically the body shop, not the insurer. A shop can look at that estimate, recognize that the part conflicts with what BMW or GM says in writing, and they will tell you or should tell you directly before that repair ever happens. On the other hand, a shop operating as a direct repair program partner tied to that same insurer for the benefit of their referral volume carries less incentive to raise that flag. The incentives point one direction, toward the coverage the policy already specifies. And here's the part that turns this from a business practice into a legal one. That policy became a binding contract the moment you paid your first premium. Signing the application starts the relationship, but paying is what makes it enforceable. Every renewal payment since has reaffirmed the same parts language that was written in on day one. So if you sign that estimate without ever having added the OEM endorsement, an aftermarket part with a mismatched control module can end up governing whether or not your car's automatic braking or lane assist works the way that it's supposed to. And the contract you're already bound to is the reason it's allowed. Now, here's the part of the video that I promised at the top. Telling the shop that you want OEM parts still matters every time, but your insurer is actually required to pay for what was decided the day that you signed your policy and reaffirmed with every premium payment since. Most policies default to like, kind, and quality coverage, which legally includes aftermarket, recycled, even salvage or junkyard parts. A guarantee of new OEM parts on safety systems requires a specific endorsement, usually for a modest increase in the premium. Add that endorsement, and the insurer is contractually bound to include it. Skip it, and the default is what you get, which means the only path to OEM parts on that repair is paying the difference yourself out of pocket. Nobody wants to hear that after years, sometimes decades of paying premiums on time, in full, the answer to whether their car gets OEM parts back was decided by a line of policy language nobody ever sat them down to read. So here's what you should do today. Pull out your policy or call your agent and ask directly whether your coverage includes an OEM parts endorsement for ADAS-equipped components. If it doesn't, ask what it costs to add before you ever need it. That's a 5-minute phone call that decides in advance whether you're staring down an out-of-pocket bill the day your car actually needs it. And this is where a shop's job actually matters. When an insurer's estimate specifies that a part conflicts with the manufacturer's own position statement, the shop has an obligation to tell you so in writing before the repair happens. To put the actual manufacturer documentation in front of everyone at the table, the same documentation that we just walked through from BMW, MINI, and GM, so the decision gets made with full information instead of a default sitting quietly in the policy's fine print. That's the difference between a shop that processes claims and a shop that protects people. The person who owns the car, the people who ride in the car, the people who are driving next to the car. It's slower sometimes, but it's also the entire reason that this channel exists. So back to the question that we opened with, who actually holds the authority to decide what safety critical part goes back on your car? The manufacturer already told you in writing, published this very same week, what your vehicle needs to function the way it was engineered to. Your insurance policy already told you in writing the day you signed and every time you paid since, whether OEM parts were ever part of the deal. Most people have read neither document. Now you know both exist and you know exactly where to look for them. Go read your policy. Ask the OEM parts question before you ever need the answer. And if a shop ever flags that a part conflicts with what the manufacturer requires, that's them doing their job. Listen, if this has been helpful to you in any way, shape, or form, we'd love it if you gave us the thumbs up and maybe shared it with somebody who might need this information. If you have any questions, as always, you can just give us a call. Here's our phone number, and we're happy to help if possible. On behalf of Rob Grieve and Nyland's Collision Center here in Inglewood, Colorado, I want to say thank you again for tuning in. We appreciate you so very much, and we look forward to seeing you again next Saturday.